So then on to option A, report him anonymously to the DVLA. So this is fairly similar to option B, because we're not trying to persuade him to stop before informing the DVLA. It's different, however, because we've not told the patient first that we're going to be letting the DVLA know. So we're actually breaking confidentiality here, which we're allowed to do because there's a patient safety risk. But remember again the 4 C's, so communication. It's much better if we inform the patient first that we're going to be letting the DVLA know. And then finally option E, discuss with your clinical supervisor. So this may seem appropriate, but actually we don't need to do this. Generally we say we only need to escalate to a senior, so speak to an educational supervisor or clinical supervisor, if we've got a real clinical safety concern. And in this case we don't. It may be that our colleague doesn't know that she shouldn't be asking for the results, and a simple explanation from us should suffice. Then option A ranks lower. Discuss your concerns with the consultant after her morning clinic. So this may sound like a good option because we're speaking to a senior, and it may be actually that we need to do this in addition to speaking to the registrar. But remember, this is or. And in this option, we're not speaking to them until lunchtime, till after the morning clinic. So this means there's going to be a delay. The registrar is going to carry on seeing patients all morning, possibly putting them at risk. And then on to option D. Suggest he make a donation to the local hospice instead and return the money. So although again we've not accepted the gift personally, it ranks below C and B because we're asking him to give it to a hospice instead. So GMC tells us that as well as not accepting gifts personally, we also shouldn't be encouraging patients to make donations to other organisations, and this includes charities. Then option A ranks next. Email all your FY2 colleagues in the hospital and ask if they'll swap to your post so that you can start anaesthetics, and copy in the rota coordinator. So this ranks lower because you're making some attempt to fill your post, but it's likely going to leave an empty post for one of your colleagues. And it's also unprofessional really to try to arrange this without letting the rota coordinator know, only copying them into the email at the end. But at least you have made some effort to make sure that they're aware of what your preferences are. So then option B ranks next. Ask them to discuss passive smoking at their next midwife appointment and document this in your plan. So this ranks lower than D. We should be discussing these risks personally with her, and we should be doing this while she's still on the ward so that her and her husband can make changes as soon as possible. We've made steps to make sure that this happens in the future by documenting it, but there's a very small chance that this doesn't get picked up, maybe appointments get changed, and then they go away unaware of the risks. Option B. Ask him to perform and interpret an ABG from your urgent jobs list, record it in the notes that you and your consultant can review on the ward round tomorrow. So this is quite an unsafe option. He's told you that he has been able to interpret any ABGs, and you're asking him to do one and perform an ABG and put it in the notes, and it won't have a review until tomorrow. So this is quite unsafe. Then option A ranks next. At the end of the meeting, check with the nurse that she is okay, and then discuss bullying in the workplace at the next team meeting. So in this case, we have offered support, we have spoken to Mandy in private, but we're not really taking any real action to make change in the behaviour of this registrar. So we're going to be arranging a teaching session, but we don't know that they're going to be attending, we don't know that they'll really take it in and realise that this is in response to their behaviour, so we don't know that they'll change it. Then option A ranks next. Discuss with Mandy when you next see her after your night shifts and advise her to take the post down. So this ranks lower than B because there's going to be some delay. So we're still speaking to her personally, asking her to take it down, but this is 3 days away. So this is 3 more days where this patient's information is available for other people to see. And also option D, discuss her request with a consultant. So this is an example where it is appropriate to go to a senior. So if she hadn't said that other doctors had done it for her in the past and this just was the first occasion or maybe a one-off, then perhaps just a chat with her letting her know it's inappropriate would have been enough. But the fact that she said that other junior doctors have given her prescriptions for controlled drugs in the past, then we do need to be asking advice from a senior, so the consultant in this case.